Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another episode of Try DIY with Ebony. So, my adult daughters have moved out and spread their wings, so that leaves me with another space to transform. Their fun and playful decor was perfect for them as teens, but now I'm reclaiming this space. For this makeover, I envision a peaceful, serene, and calming adult space. So join me in part one of this makeover series as I paint and put up wallpaper. So that was the before of the bathroom. Once I decided to commit to this project, I started to take everything down, take down the shelves, take down the stickers, the shower curtain. I felt like at this point there was no turning back once everything was down and put away. This is my dollar store slanted brush, and this is one of my favorite brushes. This costs about $6 from Walmart or Home Depot. This one was $1. I'm gonna check it out and see how it works. Okay, so this didn't work good for cutting into the wall. And what that means is you should be able to press down. I don't even know if you can see this. You should be able to press down and drag this brush right along the edge, and it'll be right up against the surface that you're painting. But this brush is not working for that. So that's good to know. But it is good just if you're doing like a up and down brush where you're not trying to be accurate with the surface. So it's worth it for $1 for that. But let me show you the difference. So this one, some paint on there. And then as I press down, I'm right up against that line. You see that? And I'm not doing, it's the same thing that I was doing before. But the way the bristles are, it allows it to just go right up against that line. That's why I love this brush so much. It just fits neatly into your hand. And it works so well for getting right up against these edges. Okay? Before I get started using the large roller, just a few tips here. You want to pull off all the excess hair before you get started. You can also do this using masking tape or tape that's really sticky. So you can pull off all these extra hairs so that doesn't end up on your wall. All of that just came out would have been on my wall. Okay? Especially with the cheaper rollers. I don't remember what this is. I just had this stored. So I don't know what it is, but it doesn't feel like it's that expensive. It's one of the cheaper ones, which is fine. But I did get this at the dollar store. So I'm going to see how this works because this would be a great throwaway piece. I hate washing out my more expensive ones after a project. So if this works out, this is another great dollar store buy that I would recommend. It feels a little tight, but that's all right. We'll see. So now the painting is all complete on the areas that I wanted to keep painted. I left that one area on that wall unpainted because that's where I'll put the wallpaper and the shelf that I'm building. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, this is for the board and bat, what is it called? Board and batten. What I'm doing is measuring from the corner of the wall out to, I think, about 46 inches. And this is where I originally decided how big I want this cabinet section to be, because this is where I'm going to have a long piece of wood here creating the cabinet here. So we just go over to here. That's where my measurement is. And I want to have 2 pieces of the wood coming down. So let's see, we can do a calculation. A calculation would be 46 divided by 2 is 23. 23 minus, let's see, our piece of wood. This is the width of the wood I'm going to use. So I'm going to do, this is 3 1/4. Actually, it's about 3 3/8. So now I have to get out the calculator for that one. 3 3/8. So it will be 23 minus 6 3/8. Is that right? Now, minus 6 6/8. And then whatever that equals, that's how I'm gonna know that the sections are equal on here. Because I'm gonna divide that answer. I think I'm gonna divide that answer by 2 to make sure it's equal. Or I could just take a look at this and try to eyeball it. But I think I'm gonna try to make it more accurate. All right, so this is where my first piece, well, my only piece, I'm only going to do 2 sections of the batten board will go, and the bigger piece will go across the top here. So I laid out my pattern, and I'm going to do 1 more coat of paint, and then I'll add the wood. Okay, for this upper area here, I'm going to wallpaper, and this is a peel and stick wallpaper. Hope you can see the detail. I got it to do my pantry, but I postponed that project for now, and I may use what's left over for the pantry project or something else, but it is super pretty. These are like silver geometric designs in there, so it's pretty cool. And with the peel and stick paper, They normally give you like a grid line on the back, so it makes it much easier to cut exact pieces. So what I'm gonna do this time, because I'm showing you, I'm going to actually measure out the wallpaper. Most of the times I just start and it ends up where it's gonna end up, but I'm gonna go ahead and measure it this time, just to show you that it's simple. I'm just butting it up against the top of the wall here. And I'm not assuming that this wall is straight because most walls are not straight, but I just want to get a general idea of about how long I want my piece of wallpaper. So this is about 38 and, what is that, 1/8? So 38 and 1/8. And I am going to add, well, so my piece of wood is going to be here. So I want to go down behind the wood. So that should be good. I'm going to go at 38. I'm going to go to 38. So that's going to be the length of my sheet that I need to cut. And let me find out what this width is so I'll know exactly how many rows that I'm going to have. So the width is 17 3/4. 17 3/4. And the area that I'm going to, remember all of this side is going to be the shelf that I built. So I'm going to just draw a line here as well to see how far over I really need to go. I'll bring my level out a little later because I can't really tell what's level right now. But that's 46. So basically I will divide 17 3/4. 46 by 17 3/4. And whatever that is, that's how many rows I should have. So my calculation, that's about 2.5 rows. Okay, so I'm using this cardboard sewer's board that I took from my mom a long time ago. Like, she's had it for a very long time. So if you were looking for it, Mommy, here it is. Anywho, I'm going to measure this 38 inches down. Let's see. I might have to turn the long way for this, but I'm going to go with, let's see. That's one up there. Geez, it is longer than I thought. So, wait a minute. Yeah, so 38 is all the way up there. And I am straightening this out. I'm going to just mark it and then I'll cut it. So 38 is up here. And then, so I'm about here with my 38. So I'll just, like I said, I'll mark it and cut it. So I did mark where my 38 is. And I am going to cut it straight across. Hopefully that is as straight as possible. But I left a little leeway because this is going under the wood. So I'm going to use my utility knife. Ooh, that was a bad cut. I'm going to use my utility knife and stay right up against the edge of my straight edge. I was being fast on that one. But so here we are. We have this one. And I'm going to check to see if I need to line these up. And if I have to line them up, then it won't be just another 38-inch cut. I'll line it up where I need to. So let's see. You take this out. Okay, so when I lay this right up next to this piece, I don't want these boxes looking crazy. So let me see. Let's see. I hope this works right, because I should be able to, these small pieces should be the edge of one of the bigger pieces. Let's see. Okay, that's lining up somewhat. I wonder if it's supposed to line up. It should. I don't like, it's gonna drive me crazy if this doesn't line up and it's just all jacked up. I want, my OCD needs for it to be on here correctly. So let me see something. Okay. That fits somewhat, but let me try to piece it together again. And that's important, especially when you have patterned wallpaper. You want to make sure they line up. You don't want to see your seams. And that's part of not seeing your seams, is the design sort of disappearing in your on your wall. They might get this back. Okay. Here we go. I found it. This was going to drive me absolutely batty if this didn't line up. So it's probably about 6 inches down from where the pattern repeats. Let me see. Yeah, it's about 6 inches down from where the pattern repeats, because it wouldn't be enough room. It would not be enough. There we go. The pattern is coming together. Yes. So, what I'm going to do is measure out the next piece for this, based on me knowing how this is lined up. Yes, and yes. Okay. You just have to pay attention to know where it's lined up. So I'm just going to cut straight across. And then with the next piece, we're only using about half. So I'm going to put these 2 pieces up first, and then I will come back for the half of piece and see how that works. Let's go. All right, let's get started. So I'm fitting this here. It's going to be butted up against the ceiling. It's going to go along this side. It is going to come straight down. I'll leave a little bit across the top and then come back and cut it. Okay. This wall is making it feel crooked, because like I said, no walls are straight. So we'll come up here. All right, we ready? Let's go. I'm gonna peel from the top. I love this wallpaper. So to do is to roll down as I go. I would definitely not suggest that you take it off all at once. So I just have it like down this little bit, and then I'm going to place it. I am going to place it right up here. And I'm not pressing too much right now. You get my little tool. You can use a credit card, you can use a ruler, whatever. But so now you just see where I am on here, where it's landing. Now I can tell that this wall is not straight. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use my placement as my guide. So if you can see, my hand underneath right here is pulling the paper as I go down. I'm doing it lightly still, because if I do make a mistake, I'll be able to move it. But at least it'll be placed. So I'm slowly pulling this paper down as I come down. Getting out all the bubbles. Same thing. Slowly pulling it down, and you can start to see it come out of the bottom now. Pulling it down. Again, don't worry about, for me, I'm not going to worry about that it's not flush against this wall on this side, because one, this is behind the door, but two, I feel like it's straight up top. So that's more what I'm focused on. So I'm going to keep pulling, keep squeezing out these bubbles. And this should get me right around this line where my horizontal piece of wood is going to go. There we go. This little extra piece that I cut was on here. So that's one piece up. Now for the second piece, I just have to align where it meets up on this edge. And that's what's super important for me. Let me make sure it's not upside down. I'm going to try to find that match again. So it is here, but it's not enough. Is that it? Yeah, it is here, but it's not enough room toward the top. So I have to go to that next series of patterns to match it. So here we are. So it's going to start about here, so that each of these are matched up. Hope you can see this pattern. So again, I think I'm going to cut this top part off, because that'll make it easier. I cut at least some of the excess off, and it'll make it easier while I'm trying to line up these two patterns. So same as before, I'm just peeling off this this backing. Peel it off just a bit, not too much. Slim it down. So this time I'm going to try to find the first section of the patterns that match. So here we go. I see it. So right here, I am pressing right up against that piece. Right here. Here we are. I'm lining this up. Right here, and I'm getting as close as I possibly can, because you do not want to see that seam. Like, you're almost on top of the other piece. You aren't, but when you touch that seam, you shouldn't feel a gap. It should feel smooth. So sometimes I play with it a little bit until I get it as perfect as can be. So I'm gonna let that sit up there just a little bit, so that helps. And then once I see that it's there, that's when I come underneath and start pulling. And this time, as I pull, again, I'm making sure that these pieces stay together, stay lined up with the design. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. So now, I didn't put this on too tightly. I didn't push down on it too much. So now I'm going to go back and make sure that I can put this part down properly. So here we are. I'm going to come back and cut this part at the top. So I have one more section to go with that. This, I feel like, well actually I thought that was paint, but it's actually the wallpaper lining right up where the paint is. So I'm going to do this same thing again with another piece of wallpaper. I'm just going over the seam just to reinforce this right here. Coming back in now with my straight edge, and I'm just going to cut off this excess piece. Even though I could just move my piece of wood down, I don't want to do that. I'm just cut off this excess piece since I already decided where I want it to be. So, right along the straight edge. I'm going to do the same thing along the top. Whoa. Okay. So all I need to do is peel this. Peel this. And peel this. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. I'm going to give you a close-up of it because it's awesome. Hey, look at that. Isn't that pretty paper? I am loving it.